February 28th, 1981, we look back to when a high school in our own backyard, Orono, dominated Maine athletics in ways that still inspire pride today. In Maine Class B boys basketball tournament, the Orono High School team took the court against Greeley. When the final buzzer sounded, Orono had won convincingly, 79-67, a dominant performance by a dominant team. But 81 wasn't just about basketball for Orono. The school's football team had already won a state championship that year, a remarkable athletic achievement, one of many for the kids during that time in Orono. In multiple sports, it put Orono on the map as a powerhouse. Young men on that basketball team went on to achieve success far beyond the basketball court. Some became leaders in their communities, others pursuing careers in diverse fields, but they all carried with them the lessons of teamwork, dedication, and excellence that defined that championship run. And Orono's athletic dominance continued throughout the 80s, a decade of excellence that helped define a generation of Maine athletes. Until tomorrow,